tell y'all something about this 14th Amendment, right? The 14th Amendment have nothing to do with black Americans. You got to understand that. They're still trying to push this slave narrative. We are at war. Prisoners of war in our own country. All right, check this out. 13 colonies created by the British, right? Created by the British. 13 colonies, okay. Everybody that the British brung over here were slaves. They were slaves. All right? So the people of the 13 colonies, the Africans, the Moors, the Europeans, all of them that came over here, right, were slaves. Okay. Hence, War of Independence, July 4th, War of Independence. So the War of Independence started, right? The Mohicans or the colonialists, right, dressed up like Mohicans, went up on the ship, start kicking over tea and shit, right? Okay. They won the war. The Aboriginals and the colonists won the war against the British, 1776. From 1776 to 1810, enslavement stopped as far as bringing in slaves. The importation of Slavs from Europe stopped. Why? Because the 13 colonies were now independent of British servitude. Who were the slaves? People who came from Europe. Who was liberated from slavery? The descendants of the people who were born in America who came from Europe. So, when was the Constitution established? 1800s. So the Constitution, when it says we the people, that was establishing the birthright status of the new Americans who were newly liberated from the British. This is why in the 14th Amendment it talks about Indians not taxed. How can you tax a people, a nation that's already here? This is when treaties were started to be made between the Aboriginals and the colonists for certain land treaties, work treaties, things like that, okay? So the Constitution was created off of the Aboriginal Constitution that already existed in this country. If you ever notice, America is the only country that has this type of political order as far as chief, Congress, the legislative branch and all that. We don't have parliaments, all right? We don't have kings and queens over here, all right? We don't have none of that European crap. We don't have none of that slave crap that they do over there. We have a republic here, which was established between the colonists and the Aboriginals. The Constitution is strictly to give birthright citizenship to the colonists, to the people who were slaves. So the colonists in turn started bringing in more slaves voluntarily. Started importing people from Ukraine, from England, from wherever, because they were still under servitude in England. So when they came over here, they started encroaching on Aboriginal territory. And this is where the Indian Wars started. All the way up to the Civil War, where the Seminoles won the war. The point is, the 14th Amendment, as far as birthright citizenship, is for the European, be it the African European, called Moors, Morenos, and the Caucasian European. The 14th Amendment was to establish their birthright citizenship in this country as new Americans after 1776. It don't have nothing to do with us. Why? Because we wasn't brought from anywhere. We was never slaves. And this our land. So the 14th Amendment, which the government don't want to say is, oh, we would have, they keep trying to say that America is a nation of immigrants. No, America is a nation of slaves who turned around and called themselves Americans. This is why in the Webster Dictionary, 1828, it states an American is the aboriginal or copper-colored individuals found here by the Europeans, but now it's classified as the Europeans who were born in America. Peep game.